personal perspective, I will never forget just went with Aubrey, just two of us to Memphis, Tennessee. I can't tell you the date or the time, but 2011 or so, but 2012. But and I don't know if they're still a major shareholder of Chesapeake, but Southeastern Management at the time.
Right. Yeah, I remember.
Number one. Obviously, Memphis led leadership team, and Fred Smith, the CEO of FedEx. Obviously, FedEx is headquartered in Memphis. And so a senior member of Southeastern, Aubrey, myself, and Fred Smith went to dinner at a steakhouse in Memphis. And the whole point was obviously talking about FedEx converting, as much as they can their fleet and using that. And we had, and that's the point to your point earlier about Aubrey. He obviously led the meeting, but he deferred to me and, wanted me to contribute as much as I can, regardless of age. But it was just Fred Smith was the most impressive guys. But just the conversations and how in depth these two leaders were about their businesses and knowledgeable. And for me, obviously I'm not saying, what my future holds, but it's like just to see a senior leader like that be so intricately involved in every detail of their own businesses was really impressive. So a lot of leadership lessons learned from that. But I think what was really neat is just how small the world can be, particularly when you get senior leaders together and start working together. And there was a lot of examples of that.
That's awesome. I had a story, one of the stories from when I was there, and we had been working on a number of deals, and we had some midstream deals, and this was a tumultuous time when the company was struggling, and we were trying to sell some assets and do some different things, and we were getting pulled in a bunch of different directions. And I won't go into specifics of the company, but we had a big deal that we were working on the midstream side. And there was a moment where the deal was kind of right there. Like we thought it was going to be, it was going to get closed and it was going to be a great win for the company. And, Aubrey, the counterparty, was going to have their CEO and then the chairman of the board of this is a major U.S. midstream company. And they were going to be on this call, and it was going to be, I think Aubrey was supposed to be on, and then the head guys from Semi, which was the marketing group. And for whatever reason that day, something came, we had just so many things at once, right? Like when you were at Chesapeake, that deal was a big deal, but it wasn't the biggest thing that was going on. In fact, it probably wasn't even the third or fourth biggest thing. And I remember that day we had this call scheduled, and it was with the chairman of the board and the CEO of this company. And I don't even think at first I was supposed to be in the meeting. They were like, yeah, maybe you can be there. Cause I was kind of the guy in the weeds. And they were like, you might need to be there, but we'll see. I think management's going to handle it. And at last minute, I'm talking 2 hours before this meeting, it was like, hey, Aubrey can't go. He's got this thing. And then my boss and then his boss couldn't go because they were getting pulled to this other thing. And they're like, you just need to go. And I'm like, this is like the CEO and their chairman. I mean, I'm just some rank and file, not even that high up of a person. And so I was kind of all right. I mean, this is probably going to offend these people, but it was just what had to happen. And I remember I got the leader of the business unit, and I was like, hey, can you come with me to this thing? He was, relatively high up and a senior guy. And he was like, yeah. And even he was like, wait, what? I have to go talk to who? And it was like, yeah, we've got to meet with these guys. And it went fine. I don't know that they were offended. The deal got done. I think we handled it okay. But I just remember thinking how wild that was. I was like, this is wild that you would be put into that position to go and do that. And so I think that is that's probably not even nearly as crazy as other stories that I've heard. And you could probably do a whole podcast on just Chesapeake and some of these stories. And maybe we'll do that one day. But that's just an example.
That's a good example of just the team-oriented aspect of the company. I mean, everybody had each other's backs. It was more of, okay, what does it take to hit this objective, and let's divide and conquer and help support each other in that. So that's something that was really unique at the time, I think.